I have benefited from their advice, and I have accepted General Petraeus' recommendations. I have directed General Petraeus and Ambassador Crocker to update their joint campaign plan for Iraq so we can adjust our military and civilian resources accordingly.
Good thumbs up, man.
And we're not even technically on the road yet.
No, we're not. It's great, huh? Oh, mercy.
Jim and I left Virginia heading for Washington, D.C., where we attempted to stash the bus at the train station between Fox and CNN.
The eve of the big demonstration, September 14th, Friday night. We're getting ready to bivouac here. I guess we're in between some interesting vehicles here.
Some of those interesting vehicles included groups like Move America Forward, which was a pro-war, pro-Bush organization. We sat there parked between CNN and Fox until the security kindly told us that we had to leave the building. We spent the night traveling around Washington, D.C., unable to find parking.
Okay, we're cool.
September 15th, 5:39 a.m. And I can say that I have survived another night of the Yellow Rose Peace Bus.
To set this as your numeric page, press 1.
So the Secret Service just talked to us, even aborted the bus and flashed his light. Very nice people. Checked the license plate, registration, everything's okay.
Give it a little tap on the horn. See ya!
We are pretty close to the White House. Next thing you know, they're going to let buses come this close.
Since filming this in 2007, the two that ran this anti-nuclear demonstration have both passed away, but it is still the longest-running protest in American history. That morning, tens of thousands of people met at the White House for a march to the U.S. Capitol.
International Tribunal, right now! Stop the war now! I will stop it for you!
Iraq Veterans Against the War is leading this demonstration because this war needs to end. Too many of our brothers and sisters have died in Iraq. Too many Iraqis have died. The American people want this occupation to end. The Iraqi people want this occupation to end. It's time that we take back democracy. We're making sure that today begins a turning point in the peace movement here in the United States, away from just protest and resistance.
Some sort of a pro-war group. Pretty good.
What's up, bro?
So what organization are you guys with?
We're with the Americans.
Okay.
Apparently there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of those down here.
Flag facing right.
Yeah.
I served 8.5 years so you could be an idiot like this.
But doesn't that...
I'm proud that I protected your right to hate your country.
We all have a lot of friends.
Love it.
Good.
You guys need to come back. Enjoy that. Same thing.
Howdy, y'all. Jim Goodnow here, reporting from the Yellow Rose of Texas Peace Bus. It's Saturday, 15th of September. We're coming to you from Washington, D.C. The Rose is parked at the corner of New York Avenue Northwest and 15th Street. We are witnessing the formation and the beginning of the Peace March and the rally here as the marchers now prepare to depart from Lafayette Square and proceed on down towards the Capitol. We've been told by rough estimates that there's at least 70,000 participants in this march. These people are a variety of individuals, of ages, of ethnic groups. They're from all corners of this country, and I've met and talked with several individuals that have come from Europe and as far as South Africa and Australia as well, joining in on this call to end the madness of this war. And also, I might add, everybody here wants to end the madness of Georgia's presidency as rapidly as possible.
Police helicopters flew over watching the protesters, and throughout the march there were these pockets of pro-Bush, pro-war counter-protesters. Jim attempted to debate with some of them.
I honor your opinion. I honor you to be in a different persuasion, and we will remain friends, and we'll work to heal the country. We got to come together now. We will join with you, I promise. We'll try to find a good solution. You're a gentleman, and I can tell that. Okay.
Not all of the counter-protesters were as calm as that man. Some of them showed up at the U.S. Capitol to intimidate the protesters, and even some resorted to physical violence where they attacked Carlos Arredondo in the street.
So this is what the police do. They have a helicopter that watches the crowd.
The Capitol Police stood in full riot gear, prepared for what would soon be hundreds of arrests.
This is scary as fuck.
Let us be with our comrades, our friends, our fellow peacekeepers.
Next time, we come in on a weekday, and ain't no business getting done until the war is stopped. If we organize to that degree, then you'll stop the war. Arrest George Bush! Arrest George Bush! No Colonel White! No Colonel White!
This group of veterans walked around the rally, intimidating protesters and ripping up their signs.
Hey, no, back up.
There's no fucking
This guy with all the padding on all his arms, on his legs, like some of the squad, dude, they look like stormtroopers from Star Wars. I know, they actually look like stormtroopers. They're from Star Wars. Holy shit! They got the padding on their arms, and they even got the same hats. You know, the ones that curl in the back.
The world's better for me because I can't control. It's a fucking PD. Fuck the police!
Hey, Bush, what do you say? How many kids did you kill today?
Jim and I walked away from the nation's capital, and I began to cry because of the overwhelming sadness of watching so many people being arrested for protesting. We headed over to the jail release center where the protesters were coming in by the busload. I saw Jeff and Chrissy and others I had met being detained by the Washington, D.C. police.
Oh, bring on a big shiny light to blur the camera for the media. Thanks.
Got a bus up here, right back home.
And if you're hungry.
You should just stay in, man.
Adam, how many times have you been arrested this week?
That's 2 now.
The cops and the way we were sitting, then they wouldn't let us, we had to sit a certain way. That hurt.
How's your day been so far?
Quite eventful. I have this bad habit where I feel that the right to exercise free speech is a duty incumbent upon all those who support and defend the Constitution. So I did not shut the fuck up.
No, I went over later and he punched me in the stomach, and then I said, he said, do you want to get arrested? I said, yeah. So it was my first time.
Oh, really? He told Jeff, he's like, you guys are criminals. Martin Luther King was jailed for his beliefs. It's just like, no, sweetheart. Martin Luther King was jailed for civil disobedience, which is exactly the reason that we are here. Do you want to see my police report if you ever print it out? Yeah, no. And he's like, I have a master.
Probably some other people.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think so. Then what?
Dumbassatology.
Instead, I was being uncooperative and they took me over to the
Did you knock the house down? Did you bring the light staff? This guy's the greatest, man. He's the dancer. He did a tap dance on top of the Yellow Rose of Texas Peace Post out in Kansas for the Marines, right?
Yeah.
You were doing a little dance there. Looked like the Rockettes tore off one of the lights on its way down, but that's all right, man. It was worth it. So there's something Miles there. We're going to put this up on our blog.
The Constitution of the United States of America, supreme law of the land, and one of the foundational documents of our democracy. This here pamphlet did not leave my hand from the time I stepped over the wall until 2 cops forcefully pried it from my death grip
Oh,
at
no.
the precinct over there. We were in here and I was holding this in my hand and the cop tried to pull it out and I said, they are trying to confiscate the Constitution from me. And everybody started standing up and then they let me hold on to it and everybody was cheering. I was being let out and I said, people of America, fight for your freedom. And then I just kept it on, kept it going, would not shut up. I have that unique talent. When they ask me questions, I refuse to respond, of course, with the Fifth Amendment. But if they're not asking me questions and I'm busy overstating the obvious, speaking about what's right and true and just about the cause of liberty and democracy and supporting and defending the Constitution, I will not shut up, because I got the First Amendment.
No truer words ever spoken. There's more.
Where the fuck did Adam go? I'm totally the fattest one and I'm living with a spoon. It's because I like it in the cooper.
Jeff, I'm sorry. I am kind of filming.
That's alright. Jeff is most definitely a bottom.
As we left the jail release, I found out that one of the activists who I met in St. Louis, a founding member of the Vietnam Veterans Against the War, David Klein, had passed away the day before the march. Jim and I went to the Vietnam Memorial to join activists and veterans to show our respect for Dave Klein. While we were there, the park rangers informed us that we were breaking the law by having a flag. Adam Kokesh and Elliot Adams convinced the ranger to let us stay with the flags.
The first time I met Dave, he was actually the first vet that I talked to as a vet. And before I went to Iraq, I went to an anti-war demonstration, and it was my first anti-war demonstration. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but I knew I had my green field jacket and a spot on a bus going to New York. And when I got there, everybody was like, "You should march with the vets. You should march with the vets." And I didn't know quite what that meant, so I walked over to this spot on the map that they said the vets were meeting, and I talked to this old Vietnam vet the whole time about how I was worried about going to Iraq. Never once said don't go or do go or anything, and he listened to me for the whole march. I don't know how long it was, but if it's one of the marches I've been involved with since, it's probably like fucking 12 hours. But I complained the whole time and he barely said anything. And at the end he gave me his card and he said, "Whatever you decide, when you get back, you give me a call. You'll need it." And I moved into an apartment after I got back, and I was going through my old stuff and I pulled out this card that I found that said Dave Klein, Vietnam Veteran Active.
She's ashamed to look at him. I think those are the two people that still support him.
Ashamed! They don't support the troops! I don't support the troops. I am the troops!
Later that week, Jim and I went to this African American festival held at a park there in Washington, D.C., where I met Professor Griff of the group Public Enemy, and also poet, comedian Dick Gregory.
Recording. Well, let me just say, we want to put labels to just war. A bunch of warmongering thugs that they go from one place to another. And what makes what you're doing so good, because it's a new mindset now. And people's beginning to listen. And they have a multi-trillion-dollar machine to say we're going to do it our way. It's about oil. And the big war, y'all just give to get ready. The big war is going to be over water. Shit, I don't live without oil. I can't live without water. And that's what this is fixing to go. It's World War IV. So what we got to do is get people's mind into, and I guess the one question all us Christians got to ask ourselves is, how come there are no atheists on death row? What is it about people who don't believe in God don't kill folks? So I just want to thank you for what you're doing and enjoyed being with you on September 11th.
Taxation without representation.
We demand the vote.
Texas wants you to have it.
We demand the vote. We demand the vote.
Having fun with my new shirt.
Jim was so personable, no matter where the setting, he could always spark up a conversation with anybody.
Yeah, it was a nice day. It was warm. Oh, yeah.
Later that day, the congressional cafeteria became a protest.
Brothers, sisters, ladies, rock! All the way, ladies!
I have to say a few words.
What do we want, impeachment?
And using the Constitution, because you cannot protect and defend the Constitution unless you begin to use it. Thanks.
Yeah, my name's Jim Goodnow, driver of the Yellow Rosa, Texas Peace Bus. We're here to support the Code Pink Women for Peace. Beautiful bunch of women. Oh!
But as far as we understand it, this is going to be a People's Lobby Day. It's going to be a day of righteous anger in the halls of Congress that we have now named the halls of shame. And we do not intend to be arrested, and we want the police to hear us loud and clearly. No arrest, the people own these buildings, and we have the right to be here.
So the first warning was the last warning?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, the first warning is supposed to be the last warning.
Warning us what?
I don't know.
We're not demonstrating, we were just having a gathering.
They go in the building. See that big yellow signs with your body?
You start teaching him how to carry a gun and shoot people and beat people up. And that becomes part of what he does. So now the thing is, they sit and plan the sort of thing to beat up American citizens, beat up taxpayers, and shoot them, push them around, has to make life difficult, create confrontations. They didn't do that to the airline guys, other people come around.
No matter where we were in Washington, D.C., it was his job to follow protesters around and take photos of them. Be it in the buildings, at the parks, anywhere in Washington, D.C., that was his job. The police were there and ready to arrest any of us if we did anything that in any way broke the law. We went to dozens of offices of members of the Congress and Senate, and oddly enough, it was actually the Republican offices that treated us better and even offered us water, whereas the Democratic offices often ignored us completely.
Just met with my congressman, and he's not representing what we want. No one in this building is representing what we want. It's all for show. This whole building here, the only purpose of it is so that people think they're being represented. People think that voting makes a difference.
Don't keep funding endless war. That's not what we voted for. Don't keep funding endless war. That's not what we voted for.
He has been one of the strongest supporters of the American invasion of Iraq, which he considers part of the war on terrorism.
What is the name of your report? Okay, if you could turn that off while you're in our office, we would appreciate that. Everyone, please step in the hall if you're not from Kentucky, so we can.
Well, I'm moving to Kentucky, so.
Yeah, me too.
I'm moving to Kentucky. You moving to Kentucky?
I got an aunt in Kentucky.
I
got a horse. Will the sons and daughters of the great state of Kentucky please step forward and exercise your constitutional rights to speak with the illustrious senator and his representatives.
Colonel Saunders. Oh, it's Colonel Saunders.
That's a bit greasy and overpriced.
You guys want some water or something? Or? My name's Brett Brownell. I'm Senator Council Legislative Aide for Foreign Affairs. And I think I gave my card to some folks.
They rule by the staff, and so we come today to be present. Dear son, Thank you. I couldn't resist.
how much. And but even if I granted you everything that I've heard you say, how many of my brothers in the military are you willing to kill before you bring them the fuck home?
So what?
Just give me a number so that I know when I go home that I can sit and check the computer every day until that number's reached. Because right now, it goes up every single day. And my unit's back there right now. And I check that number every single day for one of my friends. What's the number? What do I gotta wait till?
Well, I have to say that I very much appreciate the sacrifice that you made, and that you've made, and that your building your unit have made, and that every sacrifice of a life or an injury that's taken place is one that's tragic. And I don't know what to say more than that.
You didn't answer my question.
50,000? 100,000? What's the word? What's the kind of?
We have a military mother here who'd like to say something. Question is, will it end before Cynthia's son gets killed? Will it end before my brother's
And there's a million.
Well, I would say George Bush is not killing any soldiers.
Yes, he is.
Killed by those who...
Stop yourself! Stop yourself right there!
Mr. McConnell.
What do people think is going on here? Our children are over there dying to defend our Constitution, and these people are shredding the freaking thing. Right in front of our eyes, they're shredding it.
You're right.
And they're dying for it. I haven't seen my son in over a year, and I don't know if I'll ever see him again.
And also understand that if we don't stand up for the rights of individuals, if we don't say absolutely no to torture, if we don't say that we will respect the Constitution, free speech, free rights, free assembly, due process, then what does America stand for? Then who are we? So please take this as a very sincere plea, not from Democrats, not for Republicans, from people.
Patriots.
We must change direction.
We are